Yo, Hellaware, man. What's going on?
What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Man, tell me about this gathering, man.
The gathering of the
Tell me about the
Juggalos?
gathering, man.
My, the gathering of the Juggalos is awesome. You know, they put on this big ass event every year. You know what I mean? Out in Cave in Rock, Illinois. They got all these artists and stuff. You know, I went to the 10th annual gathering of the Juggalos, and that was my very first one I went to. Man, I thought it was pretty cool. Man, you know, I got to meet a lot of cool people and I had a great time. Don't get me wrong. I believe that was the year I took Trent Acid there. I think it might have been his last gathering before he passed away. But he rode out with me out there in 2009. But anyway, I just got a call, you know, from I was talking to Necro on the phone, and them boys were up in Detroit. I had called Too Tough Tony and was telling him, you know, that I was coming out to the gathering. And he was like, yeah, cool, man, come on out, man, we'll have a great time, you know. And I asked him, basically, I called him to see if he still had my air mattress and my tent and all that shit that I left with him in 2009. So then I started talking to Dylan on the phone, and he asked me if I'd be interested in working the oddball events at the gathering this year, 2011. Just passed. And I was like, yeah, cool, man. So, you know, I said, well, you know, what's up? You want me to come get you? So, you know, he was like, yeah, cool. You want to come out here to West Virginia and you can pick me and Drew up. Drew Taylor, he's referee for JCW. So I went out there and basically picked them boys up, you know, was excited, you know, I'm going to go out to the gathering and get a chance to work in front of, you know, 25, 30,000 fans, you know what I mean, get to showcase my talent, and finally they get a chance to see the Hellaware Assassin live in person instead of on the internet on YouTube. So I go out there and I pick the guy up, you know, I hang out. Matter of fact, I went early. We were supposed to, the gathering didn't start till a Thursday, so it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That Wednesday night before the gathering, we were in Evansville, Indiana for a JCW versus Coliseum Championship Wrestling show at the Coliseum right there in that town, in Evansville, Indiana. And then the night before that, we were in Cleveland, Ohio at the Cleveland Indians baseball game. And, you know, I went and checked that out and cannot disclose it. But, anyway, you know, I went out and picked up, you know, Necro, and I picked up, you know, Drew, and we went ahead and rolled and went up to the game, and the game got rained out, you know, up in Cleveland, and a thunderstorm came in, it kind of killed everything, and, you know, it made, you know, it was bad and shit, man, as far as the weather, and we didn't get a chance to see the Indians and the, you know, the boys play against the Tigers. But anyway, to make a long story short, you know, we travel on down the, you know, down the pike, man. We head to Evansville and do the Evansville show. We get to the gathering. We'll be pulling the back, and for all you fans out there, all you Juggalos out there, all the artists and all the wrestlers, we're back right behind the stage. And this year, you know, there's some things that changed, some rules that changed. Apparently, some people that weren't on the show were back behind the main stage where everybody camps, and it pissed off Corporal, and it was going to definitely piss off Joe. So they told anybody that wasn't on the Oddballs, or, you know, or working the Bloody Mania event, or anything, you had to leave. So you basically had to get your shit, you know what I mean, and get out, man. And it was bullshit, you know what I mean, because I pick up, you know, Necro Butcher and Drew, JCW's main referee, go all the way to the gathering. And then when I talked to Corporal Robinson and Too Tough Tony, and I let them know, you know, that, you know, I was told that I was going to be working the Oddballs, they were like, nah, man, the Oddballs were together a month in advance. The roster already put together, all the bookings taken care of. And I was like, well, Dylan said that, and it was basically, they were like, you know, we don't give a fuck what Dylan said. We're telling you that you're not on it, and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, it kind of like, you know, it felt kind of bad, you know what I mean? You know, I've known Corp and I've known Tony for a while, and, you know, it ain't the first time we've crossed paths with each other talking, and not a bad thing on a good note, you know what I mean? So, you know, I was a little bit upset, you know what I mean, that I got pretty much played. I mean, I drove all the way from Dover, Delaware to Chester, West Virginia, stayed a couple days there, and then we all left on Tuesday to head into, you know, to Cleveland, and then into Evansville on Wednesday, and then into Cave in Rock, Illinois for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday, blah, blah. But anyway, I had to roll out, you know what I mean, my car broke down. You know, I had busted a strut bar, and, you know, rubber bushing broke in my car about 30 miles away from the gathering, so my girl had to drive all the way from Delaware to pick me up. Fucked all my money up. I had to leave my boys, so I deeply apologize to Necro Butcher and Drew Taylor, JCW referee. I will get you guys back for that, you know what I mean? I'll take care of it, not a big deal. But I'm glad it worked out the way that it did, because my money was funny. And then, you know, this was like Thursday, and then Friday come, you know what I mean? And just The whole thing was just messed up, man. But the gathering's great, man. Go to the gathering. I'll be there again next year, and it'll be smooth. I will not go to the gathering next year, and I swear to God, I will not go with no less than 6 G's in my pocket. You know what I mean? That way I can get us a room. I can rent the RV. You know what I mean? Can get all the food. Still have cash in the pocket to have fun. We don't have to worry about none of that bullshit. Cramping up in a little Honda and traveling, you know, 850 miles there, 850 miles back. Man, I almost put in 2,000 miles on my car. So, but it's all good, man. You know, it's the Hellaware Assassin. I had a great time. I really enjoyed myself. Went to the Louisville Slugger baseball place there in Louisville. Got to see the big bats. Got to see Babe Ruth's 1927 baseball bat with the 20 notches in it around the logo of the Louisville Slugger on the bat. Awesome to see that little piece of history. See them bats that close. I had a great time, and again, I apologize to you, Drew, and Necro, you know what I mean, for having to, you know, skedaddle and get up out of there, but, you know, I'm $1,000 in the hole right now, and that's killing me, you know what I mean, I don't make a lot of money, you know what I mean, I only make 50 G's a year, you know what I mean, so $1,000, that's a lot of money, that leaves me with $49,000 to make, you know what I mean, so, anyway, but, yeah, I know people are probably like, God damn, man, Hellaware got some shit on his walls, man, but it's my little bit of a collection in here, man, for all those who, you know, are watching this and they're like, yo, where's he at? In his little brother's room? Now, this is my spot. I mean, I collect a lot of shit. Cameraman, you can pan around, check the room out if you want. You know, I got all kinds of cars. I collect these things, man. These things are pretty cool. You know what I mean? When I see this shit, man, I just buy it. You know what I mean? I figure one day I'll be able to hand it all down to my nephew. You know what I mean? So I give my nephew all this stuff, you know what I mean, all my jerseys and, you know, all my memorabilia, all my Favre shit. I got Brett Favre autographed helmet over there on the bed. You can see that. Autographed pictures, Packers, Lambeau Field. Yeah, I am a Pack fan. You know, I do got Walter Payton on the wall over here. I got Greg Luzinski, autographed Chase Utley, autographed Red and Phillies, Ryan Howard. You know what I mean? You got a Jason Worth World Series jersey. You know what I mean? With the numbers, the real deal. You know, with the numbers on the sleeves. Majestic logo stitched in on the left sleeve and not the right sleeve. For all you marks out there to go buy jerseys, if it's on the right, don't get it. It's a phony. It's a fake. You want the real shit. You want the shit like that. The real good stitching. You know what I mean? Harry Callis. This is what you want. Kind of shit you want right here. Bag it up too, man. Protect all your stuff. Put it in bags. That holiday is going to come down because it's garbage. I got a real holiday. Anyway, Deshaun Jackson back with the Eagles, baby. For all you Eagle fans out there in the Midwest or anybody that moved off the East Coast that like the Eagles, this boy right here might take the Eagles all the way to a Super Bowl. But you got to get past them Green Bay Packers first. Anyway, well, that's it, man. That's all I got to say, man. You know, that's my thoughts of the gathering. You know what I mean? Oh, King Gordy, big shout out to King Gordy, man. It was cool talking to you in the hotel parking lot there, you know, a few miles away from the gathering. You one cool cat. I'm sorry somebody chunked a rock at you, man. If I'd have been there, I'd have smacked them upside their motherfucking head. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. But anyway, King Gordy, get at me, man. Hellaware Assassin, man. You know what I mean? You can check me out on Facebook. My real name's JD Good. All you motherfuckers out there know my real name anyway. It ain't a secret. But JD Good on Facebook. You can hit me up there. It's JAYDEGOOD. You don't want to be a friend of mine, hit me up, man. I'm always looking to be a friend with everybody else out there. You know what I mean? It's all you JCW wrestling fans out there and all you motherfucking Juggalos and Juggalettes, man. Peace. See you next year. Hopefully next year, man, it'll be better than this one. You know what I mean? So that's basically all I got to say. I got a lot of work to do. Grandmom's coming home this week. She's been in the hospital for about 4 or 5 months. Going to bring her home, so... You know, peace out, man. Have a good one, man. Take care. See you in 2012. Peace.